G'day, I'm Trevor Monaghan. I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a business valuer, I'm a real person, I hate the cold, I love sport, but I'm obsessed with valuing businesses. At Climax Business Strategies, we specialise in valuing businesses. I've dedicated my life to valuing businesses so that you didn't have to. So you may be wondering, what does a business valuation cost? Well, let's go back a step. Why might you need a business valuation? We typically see business valuation jobs come through for three main reasons. Firstly, someone's looking at buying an existing business off somebody else and they want to know, what's it worth? Should I buy it? What risks are involved if I do buy it? Secondly, someone's got an existing business, they're looking at selling it, and maybe they've had an offer already and they just don't know how to compare that against reality, or they're looking at finding out what it's worth right now so that they can improve it to make it worth more. And thirdly, unfortunately, most of our valuations come through from family law issues. So husband and wife getting divorced, and there's a business involved. We come in there as an independent expert. So whatever reason you're getting the valuation for, the theory is the same. So how do we approach a valuation? Well, we come in and almost pretend that we're the ones buying the business from you. So what we do is we go through a process that we would go through if we were going to write a check for this business. We would obviously assess all the financial data of the business. We'll look backwards and also look forwards. And most importantly, we're going to actually assess the strengths and weaknesses of the business and the risks. Now, unfortunately, most business valuations that get done in Australia get done by accounting firms that don't do that second part. They take the financials historically, they chuck them into a ready-made spreadsheet, they look up their index of a benchmark for that industry, which is an archaic way of doing it, multiply the profit by that benchmark, and hey presto, we push print, we've got a valuation. I just want to interrupt here for a second to share a disturbing phone call I received a few weeks ago from a software company. Now, their pitch to me went something like this. They said, Trevor, we've got hundreds of accounting firms in Australia using our automated software to produce business valuation reports from start to finish. You don't need to even know how to value business to use the software, Trevor, and most of our accountants are charging at least $5,000 per valuation, and the clients don't know the difference. Now, that scared the hell out of me. The fact that, if you believe what they say, there's hundreds of accounting firms out there that don't know what they're doing, charging $5,000 minimum per valuation and producing a report that's been automatically generated by software. Now, most business valuers that know what they're doing will tell you that there hasn't been and never will be any software developed that can produce a valuation report from start to finish without an expert person driving the thing and coming up with all the different variables. I know because I've tried. It's not possible. So just beware of anyone that you suspect might be using automated software. And the key thing there is ask them lots of questions. If they can't tell you exactly the method in valuing a business, you've got to suspect they're probably using some software. And also look out for people that are outsourcing their valuation work to external parties, whether in Australia or overseas. Why pay the middleman? Go straight to the source. So just beware. But those valuations don't stand up because they're not commercial reality. That's not how people buy businesses. They haven't taken into account all the strengths and weaknesses of the business and all the other qualitative aspects of the business that make a huge difference in the amount of the check that I would write if I'm buying the business. So what does a business valuation cost? Well, it really depends how much certainty you want. We can spend lots and lots and lots of time checking stuff, investigating, verifying, which may be required in some cases if there's a court case and the parties specifically asked for that amount of work, or if it's a business that's fairly large and there's a lot of significant risks and someone is literally going to write a check, we would spend that extra time and that extra cost to check those things. But most of the time you can actually get away with much less what we'd call due diligence. And effectively what that means is that we would gather that information from the existing owner and we would just accept that what we're being told is the truth. Now, by doing that, a business valuation that would typically cost $5,000 to $10,000 as a starting point at most firms, we can get down to as little as $1,500 for a small business if we are provided with the information. So how does it work? Well, give us a call and we'll talk about this particular job that you've got in mind. We'll ask some questions about the business, and on that phone call, we will give you a fixed price quote for the level of valuation that we think you need. So there's no risk in that, there's no obligation. If you think that quote's within the ballpark of what you're willing to spend, we will then email your written proposal. Now, all you've got to do is send that written proposal back, and again, no obligation. When we receive it back, we'll send you a fact-finding questionnaire listing all the information that we'll need. And it should only take 2 to 3 hours to gather that information and answer some of the qualitative questions about the business. Once we receive that information back, we then take 1 to 2 weeks to produce a final report. Once we've produced that report, we email that off. We're available to answer any questions as part of that fixed cost. And if any other parties, like other parties' solicitors or your own accountant or anyone wants to question that valuation, we will provide as much explanation as we need to, all as part of the cost. So you really have to ask yourself, is getting a business valuation important to you? And if it is, you really shouldn't use a part-time business valuer like the average accountant. Nothing wrong with average accountants, but they just don't do enough business valuations to become efficient and good at them, to be honest. Because we specialize in business valuations, we'll work with your accountant, with your solicitor, with anybody we need to gather information, provide a fully independent report. If after that you need us to provide further advice about actually going through and buying the business or selling the business, or we need to be an expert witness in court, we can do all that kind of stuff as well, but you don't need to pay for that upfront. Just pay for the basic valuation, and then if you find a need later on to use up more of our time and our expertise, pay for that as you need. So we're not about trying to get money out of your pocket. We're going to produce what is, in our opinion, the best quality business valuation report in the whole of Australia for the best possible price, and we guarantee our work. So if you think you need a business valuation report or you're not sure, give us a call on 1300 585 299 for the cost of a local caller anywhere in Australia, and we'll have a quick chat. And if you need a report, we'll give you a fixed price quote on the spot. Or if you prefer, you can contact us through the website at climaxbusiness.com.au, leave your details in the form, or email me directly at trevor@climaxbusiness.com.au. And don't forget, we do business valuations for all types of businesses all around Australia, large or small. So give us a call now, let's have a chat about it and see if there's any way that we can help. Bye for now.